Welcome to another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with Wally. And today I'm so excited to have on a 36-year-old from Manchester, England. He is one of the newest players to join the game and had to break in a whole set of fresh gear. He is one of the leaders of the Chocolatey Manchester Storm fans. He's been chucking chocolate when the fellas earn it, and he is even willing to import chocolate to support his team. He has made a little boy's dream come true by sending over the nicest gosh darn birthday present I have ever received. Welcome to my farmhouse, Dan Pincott.
Thanks very much. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah,
It's a bit of a surreal experience to be called up to the show when I don't have any talent or notable. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
you earned your way on the show today because you sent me the nicest it's not my birthday, but it will be someday. And you sent me the nicest card ever. And it's like that it says it takes everyone to win. I've never believed anything more than that. It takes every player to play their
Yeah,
best to win. And you put that on that card with all the chocolate storms and Captain Critch and my logo on the back. Like that was very nice of you. So thank you.
yeah, no problem at all. No problem.
Well, and then also the personal note inside, and you even have a picture of me playing for the Devils, and it says hockey family. And I think
Yeah,
that's really neat what you wrote to me. Won't get into that, but it was very nice. And the hockey family is a real thing, eh? And it's how I've been able to do this, and how chocolate's thrown on the ice in Manchester is the hockey family coming together, right?
definitely. Yeah, yeah, and that's it. And that's I got into listening to your podcast and the positivity that you kind of put across in it, and just yeah, I kind of listen to it when I'm driving, and I just thought, yeah, it's you do a lot of good for a lot of people, and I thought, it's nice to be able to kind of do something and give a bit back, really.
Well, they say what goes around comes around. I've put in a lot of time and effort into doing this, but it's because I love it and it's fun and I get to meet really nice people. But also like for the fun I've had, sponsoring the first ever pro hockey player by a
Yeah,
podcast and then having my logo on the back of his jersey last season. It was
yeah,
so cool for me to see the pictures of him mucking it up and running amok with my logo on the back. And I
yeah,
didn't have the jersey. And Finner and I were going back. He had one for me. But the accountants realized that maybe the whole bill hadn't been paid yet. So I believe he was holding it ransom.
yeah, yeah.
But
Oh
don't worry,
man.
Fenner. I'm a man of my word. I'm still going to pay you back. I'm going to send my Critchlow 2 Ales jersey over to them and let them do
Yeah,
whatever they want with it and keep the money, right? I just haven't got around to it. I've been kind of busy.
definitely. Yeah, yeah, no, definitely.
But thank you so much because now I have that jersey forever. And what a memory, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, I just kind of put a message out on one of our kind of forums and just put because I know everyone's really helpful since I've come to. So I mean, I've been watching them for about 3 years now, and since I've been coming, everyone's been really helpful. I put a message out and everyone knows who you are anyway now. Like the words kind of spread quite fast, and yeah, I just said like people knew the situation, but it turned out that Tracy, that the lady whose own and loan shirt that it was originally, she got in touch and just said that she's got Cam's this year's shirt, so she's more than happy to sell it to me if I want it. So I was like, yeah, definitely, I'm having that. It was the one in the photo that you put on, and
Oh,
yeah, really, really nice of her to do it. She's a really nice lady.
well,
And
thank you for her to let you buy it. Thank you for
yeah,
buying it and then sending it to me
no worries.
because it's like the most thoughtful birthday gift I've ever received.
No, not at all.
And
No,
we had never met, so thank you.
yeah, but I think it's because I've been listening to you for so long, and you kind of, I suppose, you get to feel like you know somebody, and again, you do so much for so many people. I mean, like so many hours. How many hours have you kept me entertained when I've been driving to Mansfield and back up to Altrincham to go and watch the Storm? So it's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
no,
it keeps me
more than happy
entertained
to.
too, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, yeah.
No, but it has been a very fun ride doing all this and some of the people we've raised money for and the way the hockey families come together. I mean, I
Yeah.
had a Sheffield Steeler supporting the Manchester Storm last year, and a Steelers fan had won the jersey that I was raising money to pay my bill to the Storm, and he was well aware and he was supporting me, and it meant the world because I know most fans are just into their team and they hate every other player in the league and all that. It's like, well, actually, all the hockey guys are hockey guys, and we're all actually like a big family, and we're just in different jerseys and bucking it up, you know?
That's it. Yeah, yeah, so true.
So the other way I get into how we know each other is you had messaged me though, and you after I don't know how did you find out about the shed,
So,
the
well, I
chocolate
mean,
storm?
yeah, yeah, it was on the same. It was on the same. To be fair, I think I started coming just after Jake and everyone had started throwing their first chocolate bars. Because I remember that one of the first games that I went to. So my first ever game was. I went away to Sheffield. So I had my arm operated on, and I was kind of recovering. I couldn't get out, do much running, and do any of the sports and things like that. So I was kind of looking for something to do. So I thought, well, I'll go and try hockey again. I'd seen it years ago when I was little, but I thought I'll go and watch it. And I ended up watching Steelers versus Storm, but it was at Sheffield. And so I didn't, living in between Nottingham, Sheffield, and Manchester, I could have gone to any one of the three. But I went to Sheffield away. And yeah, sat there and realised I made a grave mistake. I'd sat with the wrong team. The hockey was really good, but I just thought that the never say die attitude of Manchester and everything like that. I just thought this is the team I need to support, and not whooshing the other team and all the orange and everything with the Sheffield. So I went the next night over to Manchester, and then it just went from there. Really, I never stopped going, and then I saw the chocolate being thrown there, and I just thought the vibe in Manchester was so good. And yeah, I heard that your podcast got mentioned, and that you had a Cam Critchlow on the show, and so that was spoken about in on one of the online Facebook forums, and
Yeah.
so I just checked it out, and straight away I tried a couple of other hockey podcasts, never really kind of got into it, but then ex-professional ice hockey player who's Canadian, I just thought this is ace, like it was really
Uh,
cool. I really
well,
liked it.
yeah, no, thank you. And it's interesting because I talk to Critch every once in a while via message, or I get him in the shed every once in a while. But he told me he's like the vibes in Manchester are awesome. Like he loves playing there.
Yeah,
And then you see the chocolate get thrown on the ice. Then you see them do their cool celebrations with all the chocolate at center ice, and the guys look like they're having fun playing hockey, and
definitely.
that's what I'm all
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, the vibe's completely different. Like, I like originally I'm from Nottingham, so or like from Mansfield near Nottingham. So really, I should be all my family are Panthers supporters. Well, I say all of them. Yeah, I've converted my mum to Storm and my niece to Storm. So they just love. And again, it's just because of that. Like they do skating like with the players every now and then. We're
It
going
does. It,
bowling this
it
month.
probably doesn't have the same big vibe as like Sheffield's a huge arena. There's a lot of fans
Yeah,
in there. You go to the
yeah, yeah.
Storm Shelter and it's probably like a smaller hockey family, and you get to know more people that are in the arena. But the other part of like, I'm a Cardiff Devil, always will be, and everything they've done for me, I'll never forget. And they
Yeah.
still need to throw 1,005 Twix on the ice for Matt Caruth to break my record. But anywho, I enjoy cheering for the underdog. When I went to Cardiff, we were the underdogs. They had finished ninth the year before. There weren't a lot of expectations. Then we won the Challenge Cup. We only missed the league by 2 points, and we were right there with everybody. And we were playing in basically the Storm Shelter, the big blue tent. And the Storm, like I have a shine to them because they remind me of my Cardiff Devils that I played for. You know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, definitely. I think there's a bit of a it's a bit of a cliche, but like the family attitude at Storm is really good. And like just for an example from this season, so I started out going and watching. I was in block 104, which is like kind of centre ice. I stood at the back on my own. I didn't go with anybody, and I started chatting with this lad. Turned out he played for Altrincham Jets, and so he was kind of like literally like explaining the rules to me. And I mean, like one of my first times, I was like he just handled that puck, and the referee was right there and didn't even say anything. Like from a football background, I didn't even know that was a rule. So he kind of explained all of that, and he ended up giving me my first hockey stick. So like, I think it's a really nice thing. And then this year I've moved over to block 114 again, centralised, but the opposite side, so I can see the benches. and this chap Chris and his family there. They've kind of again they introduced me to everybody. They've invited me to join their team, their bowling team. So we're going to go bowl with Storm later in this month because otherwise I don't really know anyone there. So
Well, and that's how you get to know people, right? And I find like the season ticket
yeah,
holders, the people that are at every game, sitting in the same places, that you really can build friendships and like a family, right?
definitely, yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
so true.
And hockey brings a lot more than just the hockey, right? The bowling and all the stuff that comes with it is fun.
Yeah, and where else can you do that? Where else? I couldn't go to Manchester City or Manchester United and go and bowl with their players. And it's like,
Right.
you can have Cam Critchlow there and everybody. And yeah, it's really good club.
Well, and the bowling, well, that to bring up my stuff is a bowling night in Cardiff my first year. My son and I went to it with the team, and they put us with another kid, and my son hit it off them. I was having fun bowling, and that kid ended up wearing number 18 his whole hockey career because of that night
Oh,
bowling. So those nights can be magical for the kids too, right?
yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Um, so other ways we know each other though is you just got back into being a fan, but you took it even further than that. You sent me a picture of you and all your new gear. You look mean. You look like you're going to be a mean guy out there.
Yeah, I looks can be deceiving. I'm 6'5", and you can knock me over as easy as anything. I thought it'd be a benefit to be bigger, but like yeah, I'm still getting it. So it's like I go to hockey basics once a week. We do that on a Sunday night, and then I try and go skating just to improve my overall skating once a week because I didn't even skate until I started watching hockey. So
Right.
I just
You got
I
to
just
be able
went
to
to give it a
skate
try.
to be able to play hockey.
Oh, well, the first time they invited me down, they were like, the hockey basics is on 9:30 to 10:30 at night. And then afterwards, the Altrincham Jets practice from 10:30 to 12. So they were like, well, come along to that. You can.
That
So I was
hockey team has to practice from 10:30 to 12 at night.
yeah,
Is that
I mean,
serious?
yeah, it's just the ice time. We just don't get enough ice time here. And there's not enough rinks.
I understand.
So
It's the same here now.
Oh man. Well, I went down to it, and the first because the coach was like, as long as you can kind of get around the ice, you'll be fine. So I went down to it, and the first drill was you had to skate to the blue line and stop on one foot, then skate back, sprint to the red line and stop on the other foot and back, and then you had to sprint the whole length, stop with both feet, and come back. And I just said to him, I can't actually stop. I've never learned to stop. So every time I just tried to watch everybody else. And every time I went to stop, I just slapped onto the ice. And it was just like, by the end, it was the hardest thing I've ever done. I've been a fell runner, I've been in climbing, I've done so snowboard, I've done so many sports where you injure yourself, but that is by far the hardest sport I have ever played. I
Sounds
learned
like
to
you need to
stop
go to
quickly.
sounds like you need to go to public skating and get a penguin on.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what I did. I literally did that. I just went to public skate,
Yeah.
and I've been doing that every single week since. And
Well, I
yeah,
like that you're getting into it, and you did tell me that you were getting into it because you heard hockey's fun, right?
yeah, oh, yeah, that's it.
It might not be that fun
Basically
for you
fun.
yet, eh?
No, it's going backwards. That's my new thing. So I can now stop. But going backwards is just I can just do it very slowly. And when we do the scrimmages at the end, so when we play, I always opt to play in defence. But I didn't kind of realise at the time that you have to be able to skate really well backwards. So that's a big learning curve for me still. But yeah, I'm getting there.
Well, yeah, you'll every time you go on the ice, right? You just try and get a little bit better until you get too
Yeah,
old to play.
that's it. I'm always told.
I just coach now. There's no more playing, but I should bring it up though. Is my hockey team last weekend? My under 13 boys had to put a weekend together. We had 5 round robin games, and after those 5 games, the combined score was 43-0.
Wow.
And then we went to the finals and had a real hockey game, and they were winning 2-1 with a minute and a half left. I was just pulling my goalie, and we tied it up 2-2. And then my son scored the overtime winner on 3-on-3 in OT, and it was a nice goal. And we had an awesome celebration, and the boys earned it. And man, seeing kids win and seeing them come together as a team and the no quit attitude, and then coming back to win in the finals, it was just magical shit again.
That's unreal. Yeah, what's it like to see Colby? Is it?
Yeah,
What's it like to see him score compared to like when you used to score yourself? Is like
I
what's
mean,
that for you?
I It was a really nice goal, and he does make me proud when he plays because he plays hockey the right way. He's a good teammate, and he gives her, and he is talented. But my team has like quite a few players. Like when we were playing these other teams, we beat a team 18-0 in a 30-minute game, and it was only 2-0 after the first. So we scored 16 goals in 20 minutes. And watching some of my kids play, and they're the kids I've coached for 3 years, some of them, but then the kids
Yeah.
I'm just starting to coach to see how far they've come from the start of the year to what they did this weekend. I mean, it's the best to watch them, but I like watching them score more than myself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's so cool. Does he play like you?
Yeah, but he seems to probably play a little harder all anyways, but I've been trying to get that into him at a young age.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But my best story of the weekend was well, Hendo from Cardiff there that started the Cardiff Canucks that has my logo on every jersey. He was running a hockey camp in Scotland, and the kids, the game was tied, and instead of a shootout or overtime, they wanted to have a moo off. So these kids had a moo off, and what it is you get down on all fours, and you have to maintain eye contact, and you moo at each other until someone laughs, and whoever laughs loses. And I got the kids involved. We had a moo off for one of the players of the game in the room for all the boys to watch because the goalie got a shutout. Another kid had a hat trick, or Colby did. And I said, okay, to see who's player of the game, you guys are having a moo off. And it was hilarious. And Colby won the moo off. But what made me proud as a dad and a coach was he won the moo off and had earned his medal, but he gave it to his goalie anyways. And I thought that was a
Oh
neat
wow.
experience.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of his baseball season. The kid that was a year older than him, that was their best player, this Quinn Caesar. He won a player of the game at a baseball tournament and gave it to another kid. So then, it's like what goes around comes around. Then Colby sees that as a
Yeah.
young guy, and then he does it with his hockey team. And I thought it was pretty neat to watch. But yeah, some of these players I have are real players, and it's really fun and exciting for me as their coach to see what they can do. This Brady Collins kid, my captain, holy moly, he has the highest hockey IQ I've seen around from anybody at this age, and it's really fun. And but the moo offs, so I got all the parents when the kids went to bed, and all the parents were down in the conference room or party room. I was pretty aggressive and didn't take no for an answer. I convinced grown adults to do moo offs against each other, and it was some of the most beautiful fun I've ever seen. Two of the men, um, I got them to do it, and they had grown up around cows. They are farmers, and they know how cows move and talk, or move and move. And these two guys were moving like cows. They sounded like cows. They were even like sniffing each other's necks like cows would do. It was incredible. So anywho,
That's
it's been like the talk of the town since we got back, the move offs at
yeah.
the hotel, and we won the tournament. It was so fun this week.
That's cool. Has your hair grown back yet since you let them
Yeah.
shave your head?
Well, that was the first tournament that we also won. That was also fun, but all the boys did it, not just my own. But it's coming back. I look more like a tennis ball right now. Yeah, I
That's
definitely
cool.
need to trim it up though, because all the gray hairs grow faster than the dark ones.
Oh yeah, tell me about it.
Ugh,
Oh,
and they stick out. Doesn't look good.
yeah.
So you really want this Derflinger in the shed? How am I going to get a hold of him? Do I got to go through Critch, or am I
Oh,
going through you? Oh,
yeah, I mean, he's coming bowling on the 27th. So I can definitely put in a good word on the 27th of November this month, to
I
try
did.
and get him into the shed. But
I got to find more time to do this. I'm going to. I just have been very busy. Last weekend we had a tournament. The weekend before, my son got called up to play on the AAA team, and we had never been a part of it yet. And he went there and did great. And then we ripped home to play our game that Saturday, and it's been very busy. But I do want to do this because this is fun too. So is coaching though.
oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so, anyways, Derflinger, we got to get him in the shed, and then when is the next game?
So the next game is this Friday, Friday the 1st, I believe. Yeah. So we play Guildford at home, and that's our kind of Halloween Halloween special kind of night.
So are people
Um,
dressing up? Like you gonna dress
yeah,
up in a costume? Or you guys call it
yeah.
fancy dress?
Yeah, they do fancy dress. Quite a few people do that. They've got different jerseys. So we've got Day of the Dead jerseys this year. Yeah, people kind of get into it. Not as much as in North America. You know, you guys really kind of get into it, and that's really cool. Yeah, but yeah, they definitely put on a good show. Yeah.
We booked the practice on Halloween before trick or treating, and I told all the boys and coaches they got to come in costumes. You know, we're doing it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, definitely.
May as well
Yeah,
make it fun, right?
yeah, yeah, 100%,
Okay,
definitely.
so do you have a honey hole? I'm curious about this because I like food and I like pubs and stuff. Do you have a honey hole? What's your favorite restaurant or pub you go to? Do you have one?
To be honest, it's difficult because I'm not actually from Altrincham, so I travel in. I live out in the High Peak, so I've got some excellent pubs around me, but to advise people to go to there, it's probably a bit of a way out for Altrincham.
Okay.
Um,
Well,
but
what do you
I
got
mean, the
around there?
Con Club.
What's your favorite around there?
Oh yeah, the old Hall Inn just down the road. It's an amazing pub. Yeah, it wins like best pub of the Peak District every single year. They've got some great food and drink. So yeah, kind of when we moved in here, we didn't have a kitchen, so we ended up just spending all of our money down at the pub and letting the house kind of build itself there.
Um, yeah, for me, it was like every town I played hockey in, I always had like a, a restaurant where it's like the guy that
Yeah.
owned it or ran it was like my buddy, and like I'd go there all the time. And then I'd bring all the guys, and then it became a thing. And I basically did that in almost every town I went to.
That's cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's really good.
So it seems like Manchester's had quite a few injuries this year, eh? I was looking at the roster, and it looks like there's quite a few guys that have missed games.
Yeah, yeah, we've really kind of saw, especially in defence. With one game we had four D men, and it was such a struggle. You know, they're doing so much more ice time this year. We're getting Cam Critchlow back apparently in a week's time, so that'll be really
That's
good. They're just kind of trickling back now, so coming back to it'd be nice to feel because I don't think we've fielded the full squad so far this season. I think at some point we've had two or three injuries the whole time. So
and
yeah,
it looks like they got a good roster because there's some new boys
there we
that
go.
are doing very well that are like top three in the team in scoring.
100%. Yeah, I mean, it's the new people that come in that have made the difference, really, because some of the people that were scoring last year have been injured and been out, so people have had to step up. Again, people like Derflinger, but Lauren Hewlett has been scoring just crazy this year. Like it's taken a bit of the pressure off Tyler Heinen, who was having to just really go after it last year, trying to get. I mean, the problem was we're kind of conceding more than we're scoring at the minute, which is yeah, it's never too great.
Yeah, but
But
it's tough
yeah,
when you're missing key pieces and when you're missing your
yeah,
captain and your leader. That's never a good thing.
no, that's
It'd
it, definitely,
be nice to have him back. I
hundred
got a
percent.
random question for you then. If you've listened to a few episodes in the shed,
Yeah, yeah.
what is your favorite shed episode ever?
To be honest, I enjoy the Storm ones the most because obviously it's kind of
Those are your guys.
my thing. But yeah, I really enjoyed the one you did. I can't remember his name. He was your neighbor who's like he plays baseball. Is it
The coach? Yeah,
Trevalli?
Steve. Yeah,
Yeah, I
he
thought that was
coached my son. Yeah.
yeah, I thought that was a really interesting take on it. Again, I mean the Critchlow ones are really good. So he's my favorite Storm player. So and that's kind of
Isn't
that's
he
what got me into.
everybody's?
Yeah, I know. He's just got that. But yeah, I think it's like because I've kind of a lot of the players are so young. I never realised how young the players are because when you see them on the ice, they're like huge and they just look so much older, the big beards and things like that. But then, yeah, Critch is closest to my age, so I think that's why I kind of drawn to him as well.
I find it weird how all the hockey players are starting to look younger and younger. It's I
Yeah,
took my son
yeah,
to an OHL game and got to see the guy that drafted me way back like 25 years ago to the Brampton Battalion. He's now coaching Erie Otters. And I thought it was neat we still messaged. He came on my podcast, and then but seeing OHL players, man, they look like babies to me now.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
remember when they used to look huge.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. Well, you've got to try and get on as well. CJ Garcia and Joe Morrow are two defensive players. They're absolutely incredible. I mean, since they've come, I mean, and that all the injuries, they've been working so hard, and they've always got a smile on their face. Again, Joe Morrow's ex NHL, and he's just been outstanding since he's come. They're so professional, but a really nice chap as well. Because I kind of thought, well, he's never going to sign again for his second year. And then he came back and he just said he really enjoys his time. The only thing he doesn't like is the rain, the constant, like
But not
awful
not but
rain.
not the chocolate rain. That must
Yeah,
have been what brought it back.
that's what brought him back. Yeah, honestly, I think all of those things just help just to kind of do that because, yeah, I think
I
he
think
knows
it's
his real
so neat
identity.
that it happens now in Manchester that it's actually become a hockey tradition and that Critch and I
Yeah, yeah,
started that talking in my shed. I think it's the neatest thing ever. But it
definitely.
makes me when I see the pictures and the fans are kind enough to send me the videos when it happens, so I know what happens and I feel a part of it. Um, Seeing it happen in that arena makes me think of what if that was happening in the Big Blue tent when we were in Cardiff and we were having so much fun winning and there wasn't even chocolate.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It
That's
just
it.
brings in a whole nother element of fun, right?
It does, yeah, yeah. It brings that connection, and you can see the how much it means to the players as well when you throw something like, let's say, I've imported chocolate and things like that, just like Jake was doing. And I think it's so funny that they look up and just give you a big grin, and it's just like after a win, it's really good.
Uh, it was uh it was Harala, right? That we got finished chocolate brought over, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's it. Yeah,
I couldn't imagine that being a guy that moved across the world to play hockey, and then you come talk to some fat guy in a shed, and you say what kind of chocolate you want, and then actually people import it from your home country and then throw it on the ice. And for me, it
yeah,
just melts my heart, and it makes me realize this hockey family thing's a real deal.
definitely. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So what chocolate are you normally throwing, and how many chocolate bars do you take per game?
yeah. Well, uh, I, I pretty much take something every single game. This year, I've been bringing it home with me a bit too often.
Yeah, we need
And you
that.
can't do it. Yeah, so I've not imported anything this year, so I'm kind of relying on you to get some interviews done and let us
Right.
know what you need.
I do need to get some of the new Storm guys on, and I have spoke with CJ about coming on, and he was up for it. We just I get really busy and sidetracked, and then kind of just go with the flow,
Yeah,
and then haven't reached out in a while. But I've heard from other people that both of those guys are shed guys, and it's amazing how people know what a shed guy is.
yeah, 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 definitely shed guy, 100%. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Definitely one
think
of
it's a
them.
neat seg that started.
Yeah, well, he's from near you as well. I think CJ Garcia is from Pickering.
Yeah, I think
So
so. And he's played with some guys I know. So yeah, it would be a fun chat. Um, so who are
yeah.
your favorite players other than those two D-men? You said Derflinger,
Well,
but Critch is your
yeah.
favorite. So I guess we've already mentioned a few of them.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. I mean, Stephen
Heinem's right
Johnson as
up
well.
there for me too. Heinem and Critch are my
Yeah, yeah,
guys.
yeah, yeah. Heinem, I think. I mean, I didn't see you play, but I think Heinem, to my mind, from what I've heard you say on different podcasts and things like that, I think Heinem plays a lot like what you played.
Have I
I don't
said
know if
how
that's
I
right or not.
played?
Yeah, it just seems from your description and stuff like that, and he's getting this year though he's been really feisty and he's like getting into more scrapes, and you can tell he's just really going after it this year.
He's
But yeah,
mucking
he,
it right
he's
out.
he really is. Yeah, yeah,
Well, you
definitely.
have to.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, so okay, so you've only been into this for 3 years then, eh? So Critch has been there the whole time. But isn't it
yeah,
interesting though how many people come and go and you can get connected with them? It's like Jake with the Moose.
yeah,
Like that
yeah,
was
yeah.
his guy and he's right connected with them and they're buddies and now he's moved home, right? And you don't know if you see each other again.
Yeah, that's so true. I know. I mean, it's been nice this year because we've kept more people, so the retention's been really good. So, like what Matt Ginn's done, the work that he put into to keep people here, I think, and Finner, like, it's obviously paid off because we've got that core squad coming back.
You need to
So
have a
that's
core
really
that
good.
knows what's up, and you want to be able to retain the guys you want, right?
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Well, hopefully the chocolate helps too, but I really appreciate Finner and Ginner for well, the fun we've had together. The way the chocolate actually started, I had just talked to Critch, just finished the conversation, and I knew what I had said. And I wrote to him, I said, I'm about to post something, and I need whoever runs your social media to share it because fun can be had. And he said, okay, I'm on it. And then they did. And then sure to shit, the next game it started, and it hasn't stopped since.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, that's ace.
Oh, it's funny. Has anybody been fighting this year?
I mean, Derflinger, you can't look any further than him. I mean, I heard Critchlow refer to him as a Brad Marchand,
Yeah.
and he's absolutely just, he gets under everybody's skin. I've never seen a player go around, you won't just target one player there, it's everybody. And but he's not just a fighter. For me, the reason that I like him so much is just because he brings so much energy and positivity. You can see him on the bench talking to everybody constantly. He goes out, he gets under the skin of the opponent, but he's really talented.
Sounds like he's
Yeah,
got a high motor then.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Yeah, he's always wanting to get on the ice. I just don't want to see him injured because I think that we've relied on him so much in these kind of opening games.
Sounds like he reminds me of my Savage from last season, who would just give her all the time. And
Oh, I heard it. I heard him on that last podcast.
oh,
Yeah, and
he's a
he just
savage.
he just kept on speaking, didn't he, all the
Oh
time?
yeah, he's got
How
a
do you
high
control
motor
him?
too. Yeah, he was one of the most fun kids I've ever coached, man. He would challenge me every day, and we would have fun with him.
Yeah, he sounded like a character.
Um, so you go out to many road games. What's your favorite arena other than the Storm Shelter?
Well, so far this year, I'm trying to get over to. I want to go to Belfast. I've never been too far afield, really. I've been to Nottingham and I've been to Sheffield so far. I'd like to get up to Fife and Glasgow and Dundee, and go and have a bit of a trip up there this year. I've been over.
You'll have to make it to Wales at some point, eh? They
I
got a
know, I
squad
know.
this year.
To be fair, I don't know if I want to do that because they look too good. They're just their squad, like you say, is just absolutely ace.
They got a
That
roster.
I think they could win it this year. I mean, a lot of people are saying Belfast. I think Sheffield are so tied up with the Champions League. So I don't, I think that I think Cardiff have got a real good shot of winning that.
That would be really neat because I sure hope I get to go back on June 14th, and everybody be in a pretty good mood around there if they'd won the league.
Yeah. I can imagine. Yeah,
But
definitely.
I think everybody will be in a good mood that weekend anyways, because it's gonna be
Yeah,
fun if I'm there,
yeah.
right?
So is that like a game that you're organising then, or?
Joey Martin, the GOAT of Cardiff, Wales. His testimonial is June 14th. So I mean, I once when Top was spray painted as him for the pregame speech, and in the
Yeah.
crowd and waved the flag on Wally night. So I hope he remembers that, and I'm allowed to come play.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
But it's neat for me to see all these guys' careers, and that's what's cool about coaching these kids now is I'll get to watch what they do in hockey. Is Joey's first year in Cardiff was my first year in Cardiff, and then to see what he's done and break these records and become their all-time points leader and assists leader and all this stuff, it's really neat, and he's really earned this weekend he's going to have.
Yeah, that's cool.
Testimonials are about as cool as it gets in hockey.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got Dallas is coming up, Dallas Earhart. So yeah, that should be good as well.
Yeah, so testimonials of both of the honey holes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you'll have to get yourself to that.
So poster pick brought to you by Free Band Designs. Okay. The
Okay.
Little White Chapel. You got hitched at the Little White Chapel?
Yeah, that was just in this earlier in the summer. So we only booked it. What was it? We booked the holiday 7 days before we went, and we booked the wedding 2 days before we arrived there. And it was just, yeah. I mean, we've been together for 16 years, And so it was kind of like a long time coming, and neither of us really like being in the center of attention, and we didn't want a big deal, but we just kind of thought it made complete sense to go somewhere with a
Just
nice
go get
holiday.
hitched. You go get
Yeah,
hitched.
yeah. It was so fun, honestly. It was a brilliant day. Really enjoyed it. We both had an absolute blast. So
Well,
yeah,
congratulations.
thank you very
Um,
much.
so what's the picture then where there's a swarm of people on a field and you're up in the crowd? Is that rugby? What is that?
So yeah, I support. So I come from a primarily football family. So I, like I said, I'd never seen hockey when I was younger. We support Mansfield Town Football Club. So that's where I'm from. It's just north of Nottingham, and yeah, for the last 20 years we've been suffering in League Two, and then last year we got promoted, and we're back up in League One, and we're currently fourth in the league and doing really well with some. Again, it's a similar kind of thing where you've got some real big budget teams. You've got teams like Wrexham and Birmingham who have just like huge teams with massive budgets, and then there's little Mansfield Town that's fourth in the league and currently fighting to stay up and potentially go up again. I mean, that would be a dream, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it's nice when the underdogs do well, right? But that looked like there was quite a few fans out there on the field.
Oh yeah, yeah, it was ace. Yeah, that doesn't come along every day. So yeah, it was a really good event.
And then, well, the next one, you're kitted up, as they'd say it in the UK. You got all your hockey gear on going out to play. You got your Storm jersey on. So looks like you got all the gear to be a hockey player, right?
Yeah, yeah, all the gear. No idea. Yeah, I mean, you've seen the dressing rooms over at Storm. So we were in the away dressing room, so it's pretty wet, pretty mouldy. They like to keep it like that. But yeah, went out and I was fairly nervous. But yeah, I mean, things are getting better there. I actually managed to muck it up in one of the corners the other time, and it was we were both chasing for this puck that had gone into the corner, and I realised as I was kind of sprinting as fast as I can over to the corner to beat the guy there, I've never actually stopped going this fast. And we both kind of crashed into each other, into the board. We both stood up, and it was the first time I feel like I've done anything that was really hockey. And it felt incredible. It was like I had this adrenaline buzz because I had no idea I could stop that fast, and I ended up doing it. And we kind of like the puck ended up coming out. It didn't really matter where the puck went. It was just about kind of smashing into each other, and it was just yeah, it was the most fun
Well,
time.
to really truly muck it up, you got to have good balance.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
It is fun mucking it up, though.
Yeah, yeah.
And another poster pick is you did have a pick with Critch on there, eh?
Oh, yeah, yeah. So they did the skate with Storm night, and I took my niece to that. And
That's your
basically, it was
niece.
just
That was my next question, who
yeah,
the gal was.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, my niece. And so it was just an excuse, really, so that I could go and speak to Cam Critchlow and get his autograph. But she's really taken to it, and since then she's kept up their ice skating, and so she's not gone down the hockey route. I still want her to pick up a hockey stick, but she's started figure skating, and she's just progressing through all of her grades, and she's absolutely loving it. And so it's kind of like that led to where what she's doing now. So
I,
she's loving it, and all the time she wants to come up to Storm to watch as well. So
um,
yeah, it's cool.
meeting the players after it can mean a lot to a kid. And I mean, I think in Cardiff, a lot of kids have become hockey players from meeting the players. And it's
Yeah,
amazing how much more minor hockey's going on in Cardiff than it used to be. And now the Storm have their academy and all that. And it seems like it's growing there. Real buzz around hockey in Manchester, eh?
there is. Yeah, it definitely has changed. Honestly, I wouldn't undersell the impact that your podcast has had on it because yeah, honestly, I think it's helped in a massive way.
Well, yeah, I did get it right involved there last year, and I was a sponsor, and I was trying to shed boost as many as I could. And then come the end
Yeah.
of the year, I got sidetracked with my own team, and I don't think I shed boosted enough guys. It's on me.
No, I was gutted this year because I didn't realize you weren't the sponsor. So straight away, I like got in and I've got Cam Critchlow's own and loan this year for his home shirt, and I was like, I'm gonna have that logo on the back, and yeah, it's not as good, but yeah, oh well.
You know what? We had a ton of fun, and
Yeah,
it was a stretch for me to pay the money I had to when I don't make money doing this. So I had to have quite a few
yeah,
raffles, and to do it again, it would have been a lot when I'm just trying to have fun. So I'm glad we did it, and I'm glad that he ran such a muck. that I was priced out of the market, and that the Storm were offered a deal for Critch's jersey that they couldn't turn down. And you know what? That's hockey. He
Yeah,
did
yeah,
so well. He's out of my price range, and I thought we had a blast.
yeah. It was. It was.
So next poster pick, you look like you have a mohawk or something in a bathroom. You looks like you're doing fun haircuts like my hockey team.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that was when I was in Canada actually. So I did a season over at Red Mountain in Rossland, so over in British Columbia,
Okay.
and so I was there snowboarding, and it was pretty cool because I got to go over and see Trail Smoke Eaters. So that's like their local hockey team, ice hockey team, and when we were over there to kind of get in with the free spirit of it all, we had some pretty dreadful haircuts, which was pretty fun at the time. But then we decided to hop over the border, go into the USA just to go and visit Spokane and to go bowling and to do some other bits. And on the way back in, I think they mistook us for drug dealers or something because we were coming back fairly late. And so they ended up searching our vehicle. They looked for all of our photographs and literally looking for our digital cameras still back then. And then they could just see all of the pictures of us bowling and having a good time. So
Yeah.
yeah,
The
I
haircut, the
was worried.
haircuts were telling them something different.
Yeah, exactly. I was worried about the American border guards going across because of what we'd kind of heard, but actually it was they were lovely, but it was the Canadian police
Right.
that coming back. They definitely thought they were onto something with our haircuts. I think.
Oh, you should have seen when I had to go to. I did it last year too, but when the boys shape my head and they don't do a good job, and then I do the best I can with what I'm working with, and I get product in it, and I go to work like that, and it's hilarious.
That's so funny. That's cool.
So next poster pick is there's a big fancy meal on a table. What's that about?
Yeah, yeah. So that again, that was just kind of Canadian hospitality. So I went over, so I stopped in Calgary. So that meal was my first night, and me and my now wife, we went over and we visited a relative who wasn't, she's my mum's cousin. So, but we'd never met her. We just reached out and said, "Look, I landed in Canada, and be nice to say hello." We didn't realize that she was going to put us up for 3 days in Calgary and make us an amazing meal, which I think that was like 2 o'clock in the morning our time. So we were so jet lagged. We hadn't slept for like 24 hours. But she even went outside and did the steaks out on the barbecue. And I'd never seen anybody go outside into the snow to barbecue. I mean, we don't have barbecues in England, really. We only do it when it's hot. And like, she went and finished the steaks off, and she was just like, I think Canadian hospitality. We ended up the next day. We walked into Calgary, and it was about 3 or 4 miles, and everyone stops to let you cross the road. And then a fire truck pulled up because we had our map out, and they were like, "Are you lost? Do you need directions?" And I was just like, this is not like real life. Like, I don't know if all Canadians are just this friendly, but I've always just had an amazing view of Canada since. So, um, yeah, that's
That's
why
there's
that's
a lot of
nuts.
helpful people out there. Living in this small town, there's a lot of great people that help you out. It's like the way the shed started was guy that played on the Ripley Wolves with me did the concrete. Then my neighbor that's coaching with me now, my assistant coach, he helped do the carpentry work. Holt, my other neighbor, coached with me last year. We won all Ontario. He did the electrical and helped me with all that stuff. And it took my neighbors to build my shed. And then to think of how it's gone and all the people that have helped me and made the time and my busy schedule to talk to me. Uh, it's neat
Yeah,
when people help you out, you know?
yeah, yeah, exactly. And that's and hearing you and talking in on the podcast, that's exactly why I wanted to send that jersey to you, because you do so much for so many different people and all the like the charitable causes and stuff like that. Honestly, so that's why yeah, that's what got me onto it.
Stop saying nice things to me. I don't like it. Next poster pick.
Yeah,
You went to a New York Rangers game.
yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I know you've said that NHL you don't really go down that route, but yeah, Rangers are my NHL team just because I've been to see them twice now, and I've had an absolute blast every single time I've gone. So it's going to
Well,
Madison
they are a
Square
good
Garden.
experience. Like taking my son to a few NHL games, they've been magical experiences because we got to see players after, and I made it known some people to get us in the door, and it
That's
is
cool.
great getting to go to those games.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But if I had an
You,
NHL team now, it's got to be the Nashville Predators because of Ryan O'Reilly, who helped me learn
okay.
how to coach and new drills and let me help him on the ice. And that was a neat experience working one on one with a future Hall of Famer, and then him letting my son come out and skate with us and do the drills with us. And I'll never forget a guy doing that for me, you know?
That's cool. Yeah, yeah. That was one of my questions actually. I did put together a couple of questions just to ask you, and that was one of them, whether you had an NHL team and whether you would actually support that. But that's
Um,
cool.
yeah, I would be Nashville just because of O'Reilly. But
Yeah.
growing up, I was a Leafs fan. And then
Yeah, yeah.
when I was leaving Western Michigan, I was done there, and I had a guaranteed AHL deal with Columbus. Toronto said they wanted me or were interested, and I went down there for an interview. Everything went great. I was in shape. The fitness test went good. I
Mm.
left there thinking I was signing with my favorite team of my whole life, and I couldn't believe little boy from Elmira could sign with the Toronto Maple Leafs. And then it never panned out. They kept saying they needed more time, needed more time. And then I had to take the guaranteed deal to make sure I was covered. And then it never happened. So then I didn't really like them for a long time. So
Yeah,
now I kind of just cheer for the people I know instead of the teams.
yeah, yeah. I get that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What other questions do you have for me? Usually nobody ever has any questions for me.
Yeah, I have got a couple. So what was as a professional hockey player, do you feel a rivalry? So when you've played in all the different countries and everything like that, like we've got the Sheffield Steelers, as a player, do you actually feel that kind of energy from the fans, and do you buy into it? And have
Oh
you ever
yeah,
had one?
absolutely. Definitely. Well, in the UK, when we were in Cardiff, Sheffield really became our rivals because we were right there at the top of the league. It was the teams that were as good as us and mucked it up as hard as us. The rivalry just happened. It was like with the Glasgow Clan at this when I was playing, they had some mucker uppers and they had a team, and Sheffield did too, Belfast, and you feel it, and you feel the fans are a little different than against Dundee or Fife. And
Yeah, yeah,
but then you go to Germany, and they have what it's called derby games, which is whoever is the closest team. And I played in Bietigheim for 4 years, and
yeah,
their rival 30 minutes away was Hellbraun. And those games were crazy. The fans were absolutely crazy. And it was the best atmospheres I played in. And then I actually switched teams and went to Hellbraun after 4 years. And it's very interesting doing that because I'm a pretty loyal guy. And when I had to switch and then play for the team that was always the enemy, that was a weird feeling for a guy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
can
but you
imagine.
definitely feel the rivalries. Yes.
That's
Um,
cool.
what else you got?
Okay, so favorite ever goal?
Favorite ever goal?
Yeah. What's your best goal you've ever scored?
Talk about me scoring. Um, I would say right now my favorite goal was well, Sam Humphrey scoring the game-winning goal in the All Ontario Finals last season for me as a coach. Uh, there was only 3.5 minutes left, but for me scoring a goal, um, I don't really recall scoring one that sticks out as my favorite one ever. I mean, I guess I scored some nice ones, but I'd be thinking about winning a game. Actually, I got one because I kind of shows how stupid I am, but also what I would do to play. Um, when I had partially torn my PCL, then I came back too early, play 4 games when I shouldn't have, but then I got hit into the boards and I felt it totally go. And I actually did have to lay on the ice for a little bit, um, get my collect my thoughts. And I knew it was gone. I felt my leg go. And I decided that it was screwed either way. I may as well finish the game. And it was the second period. I couldn't really stand up anymore. I did finish the game, but I would fall down quite often. And then we got a power play in a tie game with 2.5 minutes left. And I couldn't really skate, but I rolled up the half wall and then waited till my guy was in front of the net and saw the pocket to shoot in when the goalie couldn't see. And then I ended up scoring the game-winning goal with a couple minutes left with one leg, and then never played again the rest of the season and had surgery like 2 days later.
That's incredible. That's amazing.
Well, it's amazingly stupid. If you're like, you should probably stop.
Yeah, that's really cool.
But I never should have been playing the game anyways. But the coach tricked me into coming back too early, and it still pisses me off. But um, yeah, it's interesting when I talk to all these guys around hockey and they're dealing with injuries. And I'm not going to talk about guys' injuries, but there are guys still that are like me that want to play so bad, that care so much that they are willing to come back before they should. And in my experience, it can really change your career.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um,
Yeah.
when you were over at Landshut, Heilbronn, Bietigheim, did you ever get much time to go skiing?
I could have more than um I wanted to do it more than I did. The
Yeah.
November breaks, the international team breaks, I went couple times then. My friends from home came over one year and 7 or 8 of us all went skiing and it was quite the experience. It was fun. And yeah, we did it a few times and it's completely different ski hills than what we got around here in Ontario.
Yeah, I can imagine. Was après ski a thing when you were playing hockey over there? Because I know like après ski to them is absolutely massive, and we go to Austria and Germany all the time. Like, was that a thing for after hockey? Like, because I noticed on one of your Instagram stories you use Joanna, so I wanted to know if that was a
uh,
thing.
we the one year we went to France, the year I ended my career, my knee was gone, so I actually couldn't ski, but I was on a ski trip. Um, so we had fun, and Pigs, my buddy, never skied with me. But the après ski I remember was went to somewhere in Germany going skiing, near Austria and Switzerland, and we did the skiing, and then they had like the outdoor market with all the beer stands and the food and all that, and like a band played or something, and then it turned into the wildest party out of nowhere. There was like a conga line, and um, yeah, it's amazing memories that you forget about when hockey ends until you bring stuff up like this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can imagine. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Um, well, I'm not sure what's your day job?
So I work in the Forestry Commission. So I work for I worked for Forestry England for 10 years, and then I moved to the Forestry Commission for the last 3 years. So again, it was Canada that I've kind of got to thank for that, because when I was over there, I never really knew what I wanted to do, and then I saw all these people who would give us rides up to the mountain to go snowboarding. They were always on their way to work, and they were working in forestry. So it's a massive industry over in Canada. Over here, not so much on the production side, but yeah, so since then, since 2013, I started as like an apprentice, and then moved to work supervisor, and then to beat forester for all of the Peak District, and then I'm on to the regulation side of things now. So trying to get people to not fell trees when they shouldn't and plant more trees and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what I do now.
Yeah, people need trees, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, no, well, honestly, getting that package in the mail yesterday, I mean, it didn't just make my day. I have that jersey forever now. And how the Manchester fans and the team and the players and Finner as the manager, how everybody has, I guess, got behind what I'm doing and having fun. And it's really neat for me. And when you get sent something like this from a stranger that listens to you in your shed, you just appreciate it so much, you know?
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
I do have one last question. It's a bit of a selfish one, really. Um, Obviously, like as a professional hockey player, you had goals and you wanted to play in different countries and things like that. But as a coach now, I know you've mentioned this briefly before about, you've got goals and things like that. Where do you have any kind of dreams of where you want to get to, and will you ever come to the EIHL, the Manchester region, to manage a certain hockey team?
Uh, I honestly, I'm a day-to-day type of a guy. I have found a deep passion and love for coaching. Right now, that is my kids' teams and their friends around this town, and I'm loving it. If when there's a day maybe they're not living in the same house as me and doing their own thing, maybe then I could chase my dreams. I don't know what they are. I don't know where I'd want to go or what I'd want to do. But right now I'm happy with the job I have, the people I work with and the guy I work for, and don't want to go anywhere.
Yeah.
But I do believe that there would be a time in my life that I'll have to scratch this itch, and I'm hoping that I will know enough people in the hockey world that when I do want a coaching job, I can get one.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
So we'll see
That's a
how
good
many
idea.
people I know, but then, right?
Yeah, yeah. A fair few, I think. I don't know what number you're up to now, but it's a fair few episodes.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know where that would go. It's neat for me to see teams come together. And I thought as a player, I was good at bringing teams together. Coaches or managers maybe didn't always agree with the way I did it. But now they're my teams and I get to choose when it's time to work hard, when it's time to have fun, and what I think brings teams together. And it may be a little different than how other people do it, but I do think that shaving heads and doing it together, and also we've dyed hair, we've done moo-offs. That's another thing we did was we went to near my grandma's cottage. The same place I had my all Ontario team for a beach party before the new season started. I had my whole team for a little 9-hole golf tournament, and the teams were in their lines, and the D were together, and all the coaches split up amongst them. But then to see the lines come together, to see how much fun these kids had playing golf
Yeah.
together, I think those are the days that brings teams actually together. And I don't think I was wrong again, because after that golf tournament, we were not on the ice again, and we went to a tournament and beat everybody.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's it. So it's proof that it works.
Well,
That's
I
great.
mean, I don't know, but the boys sure seem to be liking hockey and having fun. And
Yeah.
I did have a dad write to me one of the nicest messages I've heard in a while about my coaching. But the part that I really liked about his message was he said that after the tournament, the next day, his son shot pucks in the basement for 2 hours straight. And
Wow.
to me, it sounds like a kid that's loving hockey and wants to get better for himself and also for his team.
Yeah. There seems to be a pattern of positivity that follows you around. There's one common denominator. So
I don't know about that. I just try to have fun every day.
yeah. Well, it's working.
Well, thank you so much for the birthday gift, especially the note and the card and the jersey. I'm going to wear my hat with pride. And yeah, it's really neat that you thought to do that for me. So thank you so much. And I hope you had
No
fun
problem.
today.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me on. I did not expect this at all, and I'm mildly terrified, but yeah, it's been a surreal experience. So yeah, thank
You
you very
can't be terrified to talk to me.
much.
Well,
That's really
this has been another episode of Two L's and Hockey Tales with Pincott and Wally.